behalf of the Center for Indic Studies and all the faculty at our campus, I welcome you all. As we just heard, it's a new experience. When we heard from Samriddhi, when she decided to come here, there were lots of questions, lots of doubts. So what we have decided to do is, some of us who have been in your shoes, although it was long time ago, decades ago, we would like to share some of our tips, some advice, but we will be very brief. So I would like to begin with Professor Ram Balasubramaniam, who has many hats. He is a faculty, on academia in this country, we say once a faculty, always a faculty. And the reason I'm saying this is because right now Ram is in administration, but he has been a faculty, a dean, a provost, and now Vice Chancellor for Research. So he heads the entire research enterprise on campus. So I asked Ram to share a few thoughts with you, and he has very kindly agreed. So Ram.
Thank you, Suku. As Professor Sangupta mentioned, I see right across the stage several faculty members, and we've all sat in the seat you're sitting right now, right? So we came here as international students. In fact, back in the day, we didn't even, right, we're not able to make appointments to get our visa and so on. So we used to stand in line from 4 a.m. to get in to get our appointments. And I will also tell you, even identifying universities, this takes me back to the days I came here in 1989, and we used to go to the the American consulate in, I'm from Chennai, so in Nugambakam, and we used to browse through the books. There used to be these big fat books with various university names, and really just pick right out of that. There was no rhyme or reason, there was no method to this madness. Mostly we followed seniors that had actually gone to those universities. So that was really the reason for picking the university that we did pick to apply. So we've been through what you're currently going through, and it's really very, very exciting to be here, and I want to welcome you all to UMass Dartmouth. Like most middle-aged Indian men, I'm going to give you some unsolicited advice and say that you're here for a reason, right? You're here because you want to advance your career, and don't forget that you're here not to get a degree, but to get skills that are going to serve you well. You're not here to get a job, you're here to build a career, right? You're going to be working for the next 50 years. And so what you really want is to develop the skills that's going to serve you well. And what's going to serve you well really is not, again, just don't focus on the grades, focus on the skills that you're building, and that's what's going to help you. And again, if you're not already active on LinkedIn, you should get active on LinkedIn. And every day I see many of our graduates go on to do fantastic things, right? So clearly you made a wise choice, and now it's really our job to make sure that you get the skills you need to be successful, not now, but for the next 50 years. But for that to happen, you need to focus on what you're doing, right? So remember, we broke it up into 14-week sessions. So the fall semester is really 14 weeks, that's it. And then you're going to get a 6-week break in the intersession, and then another 14 weeks, and then you get another 15 weeks off in the summer. So those 14 weeks, that's all you want to be doing, right? Focus on why you're here. Don't lose sight of the fact that you've come here at a great personal cost, right? You've left your families and friends and being here. And I will say, the India Student Association, I want to thank the leadership. They've done an amazing job in really helping you and supporting you. And a round of applause, please, for the India Student Association. But this is, again, you're following a long tradition, because I remember doing the same thing, except right, we didn't do emails. I would write a letter and would wait for 3 weeks to get a response back about who's going to pick us up at the airport and so on. So I want to thank the team and congratulations and thank you for being here. But again, anytime you're in doubt, remember what brought you here. You're really starting to build a career from this point on. Don't lose that as a fact. And again, we have amazing faculty that are here to help you. So anytime you find yourself in any sort of trouble, please reach out to one of us. We're here to help. Okay? Good luck and thank you again.
Thank you, Ram. And as Ram said, I mean, you guys are very, very lucky because when you decided to come here or when you heard you were accepted here, you went on a WhatsApp group. Back in the old days when we became graduate students, as Ram said, we wrote letters and waited weeks and weeks for a response. And when we were graduate students, there was no internet, no mobile phone. So I know it's hard for you to believe, but there was a world then. And we could make a landline phone call, but the charges were exorbitant. So we had to be very, very conscious of the time that we were speaking to. So my budget was once a week, 5 minutes with my parents. So anyway, we will now move on to Professor Dayalan Kasilingam, who is the chair of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, a very senior faculty on campus who has been chair multiple times before, a very strong supporter of the Indian Students Association and the Center for Indic Studies. So, Dayalan?
Thank you, Sukru. I like the way you call me a senior faculty member, but yes, compared to you guys, I'm pretty old. Anyway, let me start by thanking the Indic Center for organizing this event and also the Indian Student Association. I think you guys do a great job helping out your junior students as they come in here. And I think the two people that, for all the freshers here, the two people that you need to know well and know how to contact are the Secretary for Transportation or the Transportation Secretary, Mohan or Rohan. One of them was Mohan, one of them was Rohan. And the other was the housing guy, right? The housing person, because those are two very important components of living here, right? So it's important that you know who that is and always make sure you can actually get in touch with them as you go along. Anyway, I don't have a lot to say except I think Dr. Bala actually gave you a pretty good idea as to why you're here. So let me say a little bit more about what your experience outside UMass or as your American experience would be here. So you're here as students and you're also ambassadors, right? You're ambassadors for your country, right? So it's absolutely critical that you hold yourself at the highest standards, not only within the university but also outside. Now, depending on whether you stay here, whether you plan on staying here permanently or whether you plan on returning back to India or any other part of South Asia that you came from, it's important, I think, at some point to try and learn some of these skills that America offers here. This is a great opportunity in some sense to learn about other kinds of cultural habits and skill sets, and I would take the opportunity to learn about these skills and go out there and mix with the Americans as well and everybody else. We got not just Americans out here, we have plenty of other nationalities. It'll actually broaden your vision and you broaden your experiences. So I think that's something that you might want to be proactive about learning, taking those steps and expanding your horizons as well. So besides that, one other thing that has been my pet issue here is, as Dr. Sengupta would remind me every time I come up to speak here, is that it's absolutely critical that even within the university system that you hold yourself at the highest standards. That means that you show up for classes on time, right? That's being punctual, because even though some faculty members might not make an issue about those things, it's generally considered disrespectful to walk in 5 to 10 minutes after the class has already started. So I think that's something that you might want to work proactively to change. The other issue is that the question of academic dishonesty. Okay, that's important too. I have been here long enough that I've heard from many of my other faculty members, not just about Indian students, but foreign students in general, right? The complaint that I hear is that they're used to different standards. So it's absolutely critical that you learn about what is expected from you and what the parameters are in terms of exams and homework and stuff like that. So it's because, like I said, you're ambassadors not just for your batch of students, but for all South Asians, okay? And just looking at the Pew Research Center numbers, guess who is the highest earning ethnic group in the United States? The Indian Americans, okay? So there are lots of people who have gone before you, who worked very hard, followed the rules, and done extremely well. So it's absolutely critical that you keep those standards as you move forward. I'm not just saying that you're doing, that we don't expect that, but it's important to keep that up front, okay? That you did talk about it and not kind of push it to the sidelines. So besides that, enjoy yourself. Going back to my original point, which is to try and assimilate as much as you can, learn about the American culture, and whether you plan on staying here for very long or whether you want to go back to India, this is a great opportunity, and I hope you enjoy it, okay? Even though some of the socio-economic conditions in the US are somewhat challenging right now, I would still think that there's a great opportunity. Massachusetts is a great state to be in, so enjoy yourself and good luck with all your endeavors at UMass and in America in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Dayalan. And as Dayalan said, I just want to reiterate, it's very important that you mix with all kinds of people, and people from all countries. And at the same time, you should also be very rooted in your own culture. And a little later on, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But now, we would like to hear from another faculty member, Vijay Chalivendra, who is from the Mechanical Engineering Department. He is a stellar researcher on this campus, has a big research group. He's also the graduate program director of the Mechanical Engineering graduate program, and on the leadership team of what is called as the EAS PhD. Here on campus, we have some PhD programs, one of them being Engineering and Applied Science, and Vijay is on the leadership of that EAS committee. So Vijay?
So, welcome to UMass Dartmouth. How you feel so far in the fall semester? Going good?
Yes.
Hope you make good friends. The campus, that will be great. So if I go back to 22 years when I was a grad student, came here for doing PhD at URI, I was a president of Indian Student Association by then, and we had a great Diwali function. It had with, I can say sleepless nights before, Diwali function, preparing for that function. So we do have a great culture of celebrating Diwali function at UMass Dartmouth. We have a great mentor, Dr. Satya Paritan. So he's going to help you guys to really celebrate that. Trust me, as a grad student, this is the best part of your life. Once you get a job and go to company, your life will become routine and boring. Okay, so enjoy your stay here. That's very important. Good. If I talk some serious stuff here. So when I came here, one thing I thought I was lacking was practical skills when I came back from India. So I was thinking I definitely have to have those skills, such as doing experiments, am I right? And familiar with instrumentation. I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm talking mechanical engineering language, so please bear with me. There are some computer science students, don't need to worry about equipment, am I right? Only equipment is computer, so laptop maybe, yeah. So those skills I think are very important here if you want to go to industry. So please think about in acquiring them as a TA or RA. So get those opportunities in the campus to get those skills. Okay, think about it. As a GPD, a mechanical engineering department, I think maybe I want to share a few things which may be helpful to you. The first thing is you should have a good GPA. The fall semester is so important. You need to start the fall semester to get a good GPA. The reason is if you don't have an RA right now, the faculty actually like to see a good GPA in the first semester to hire you. Other thing is sometimes the faculty who is teaching the class can advocate your name to the faculty who is looking for a student. Right? So that is very important. Whatever you do now, whatever courses you do, keep mindful about that, and maybe impress the faculty who is teaching you, so that he should maybe put a word for you. Good. Think about that. The second thing I want to maybe mention is recently I think this is what I heard about. Very important thing which you definitely explore this, which is CPT. We never had CPT when I was a grad student. I think this is a new thing. You should definitely explore that. So. The CPT actually allows you to take a course called, if you're engineering student, I'm talking engineering students, I think maybe some of them are not engineering here, maybe you should talk to your department, your colleges. So you take a course called EZR 500. This course actually will allow you to do internship in industry. So we should start thinking about this, because if you have any contacts, your friends, working in industry, maybe get to know them, if they can offer you internship, paid internship. And you need to have an advisor here, so you need to work with these two people, industry and advisor, and apply for this EZR 500 course. That is a 3-grade course that can be counted as a grad course, so you don't need to do other course, okay? And also good for your CV when you go for a job, that summer experience is really good for you. So these, definitely think about this. There's a process for that. You need to really start thinking about that. Maybe you don't need to wait till summer starts, okay? Maybe think about it when you are in spring semester. Good. I don't know how many of you are interested to go for PhD. If you are going for PhD, I think think about picking a right area. Maybe you should start thinking about it right now. Maybe do a master's thesis in that area. Okay. Then publish as well to get to PhD program. So those are my points. Enjoy your journey at UMass Dartmouth, especially the warm weather before the snow comes. Okay, I know some of you may be waiting for the snow. That's good. Okay, so make new friends. The important thing is, as one of the speakers said, connections are so important. Okay, so everything works with the connections, here. So please do think about that. Make friends beyond your room who are sitting here. Okay, that's very important. Looking forward to talk to you in the lunchtime. All the best.
Thank you, Vijay. And I just want to again amplify a little bit of what Vijay said in terms of acquiring skills. See, nobody will really come to you and say, well, acquire this skill. You have to be proactive. So again, based on your career, based on your interests, you decide, you find out what are the skills that are the topmost in that branch, and then see how you can acquire them during your stay here. So now we would like to move a little bit in terms of the background of the speakers. All the earlier speakers were basically from engineering or computer science. We would now like to hear from B.K. Rai, Bharatendra Rai, who is the chair of Decision and Information Systems in the Charlton College of Business. So we would like to hear a perspective from a business faculty. B.K.?
Hello everyone and welcome. So I'm from Charlton College of Business, as Dr. Sengupta mentioned, and also I remember coming to US long back, and at that time I had a very clear plan. I'm sure many of you have that kind of plans. My plan was I will complete my PhD, so 4 years, maybe 5 years, and then maybe work for 1 or 2 years and go back to India. So that was my plan, and I'm still here. So, and I heard that it happens with many people, their plans change. This is a very short period, like especially for those of you who have come to do masters, maybe 1.5 years or maybe 2 years, and before you realize, the time will go away. So whatever plans you have, unless like you crystallize them and make it very clear, because by the time you realize, 2 years are gone. So my suggestions will be that, for example, in my class, I tell students, when you pick up a project, one is I allow students to make their own teams. So mix with other people also. Don't like group with only Indian students or only one kind of students, but mix with other people, because you will learn from others too. And others is like, when you pick up a project, don't select it only for the sake of like, okay, this is a class and I have to do a project. But that project can become your like something that you can showcase in interview, during internship or job interview. Or if you are like planning to do a PhD, that could be something that can become a base for a conference paper or even a research paper that you can do with the faculty. So like in business school, we have many faculty who have worked with master students and completed several conference papers, journal articles, things like that. But then you have to be ready for that. It's not like it will come to you, but you have to work towards it and do it. And other thing is, many times students forget about the timing. It's not that after you get your diploma or degree, you start a job search. That is too late. In fact, this semester, first semester, I have seen students applying for internship or jobs for coming summer next year. So by November, they have something in their hand that they will be starting either as internship or some kind of work in summer. So don't wait too late. You have to start early, and the projects that you select carefully, that can become your like path to go into some of the businesses. So with that short introduction and advice, I will stop here, and thanks very much for having me. See you in classes.
Thank you, BK. And I do want to mention that there were a few other faculty who would have liked to be here but couldn't come because of other commitments, or some of them are out of town, so they are on travel. So just to reinforce what Ram said at the beginning, that all of us are here to help you in whatever way we can. And so I am a faculty in the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, and I also am affiliated with the Center for Indic Studies. So I will now try to shift a little bit to the role that the center can play in your professional development. So one thing I do want to highlight is that you are a very lucky batch, because this kind of support from faculty is not available at many institutions. You have two wonderful people in Satya and Belaji who will go out of their way. I mean, because I have been associated with them for a few years, I know how much time they spend trying to work through the problems of some of the students. So please reach out to them. They both are extremely helpful, but also be respectful of their time and other commitments. So Center for Indic Studies, I'm sure many of you will hear this term for the first time. It's an academic center, but we also have many outreach activities. We co-sponsored the Diwali festival, which will come up very soon, November 19th, Saturday. So please put it on your calendars. It's one of the what we call marquee events on campus, not just for Indian students, not just for Center for Indic Studies, but the whole campus looks forward to it. And besides co-sponsoring these events, we also hold academic conferences, we hold regular seminars in the academic year. And in terms of seminars, I just wanted to mention, we do bring many well-known speakers from, many of them have come from India as well, and also nowadays, because everything, Zoom is so convenient, we have had many online speakers as well from India, the United Kingdom, Canada, all over the world, you may say. But we are always open to speakers who are recommended by the Indian Students Association. So, if you think that you would like to have some prominent speaker, or in whichever field, we have had people from all kinds of fields. I remember 2001, Sunil Gavaskar was our chief guest. We have had people from the film industry, the Bollywood industry. So the background is pretty vast. So if you think you would like to hear from some prominent person who has inspired you or about whom you are more interested, please reach out to Satya, Belaji or myself, and we will try to bring that person, if not to campus, online or whatever. So what I'm trying to get at is that we are in a partnership. The Center for Indic Studies is in a partnership with the Indian Students Association. And now, because we have such a big group, by the way, I'm sure you all have heard the news that this is the first year, I believe, when Indian students to the United States outnumbered the Chinese. So it's a source of big pride for me. And that is reflected on this campus as well. I cannot remember, I have been here for about 3 decades now, I cannot remember a time when we had more than 120 new Indian students. So the point being that now we have a very good number, and this number then allows us or encourages us to do many unique events. See, some events, Center for Indic Studies pretty much does it alone. Alone means on its own. Some events, the ISA is much better equipped to do. But then there are some events that both of us in partnership can do, which will be very unique and at the same time very helpful for your professional career and for your personal career. So as I said, when students come from other countries, I'm not talking just of Indian students, any international student, when they come to this country is, Dayalan said there are some contemporary challenges, but leaving that aside, this country is the most universal nation. So there is a concept that America is the first and perhaps only universal nation. By that what I mean is, you can get people from pretty much any country in the world. So you have this opportunity to know about the world through your friends who are also your classmates or project mates or housemates or whatever. But at the same time, it is very important that you remember and respect where you are coming from. Because if you try to Americanize yourself, you may succeed. You may not succeed, you may succeed. But that will not necessarily be helpful to you, because it's very important to know where you come from, so that will provide you with the grounding that you need. It's very easy to get swayed and then lost in trying to assume some other identity. So you should be very clear about your identity, very proud and yet very clear as well, okay? So I know that I am in between you and your lunch, so I don't definitely want to delay that any further. So with that, again, with my best wishes for all of you for your academic and personal enhancement, and with the apology from some of my faculty colleagues who couldn't come here, and with my admiration and respect for Satya and Bela, thank you all.
Thank you so much, professors. The kind of advices that you have given are very valuable, and we are so grateful that you have taken out your time on a Saturday and coming here and including us in your family of UMass Dartmouth. And now I call upon stage Professor Satya, who is our advisor for ISA, to give his wisdom to us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. First of all, I welcome all the students to UMass Dartmouth. Very warm welcome. And for the first time, I think after about 3-4 years, I'm seeing for the first time big crowd. I'm sorry, my power in the tone has come down, so bear with me. And first, what I would like to say is that we have to be first of all thankful to the team committee members who have taken all the steps and all their precautions to see that you get settled here, and that's very important, and I think everybody is happy. And I had a chance to meet some of them, during my trip to go home. I used to drop down at Hawthorne. I see that they're all there, right? And then met some of them. I couldn't meet most of the students. I would meet them soon. One very important thing is that, as Professor Rampala mentioned, you're all ambassadors to this country. Everybody we should respect. And whatever the things we do, each and every one is representing the country. Okay? And you came here to build a career. It's not just getting the exams done and then getting the grade point average. They are not that important. Acquiring the skills so that you can get settled. That's very important. And we both, as the Professor Sukalyan said, that Center for Indic Studies and ISA, they go together. We also have got badminton club, right? And we also have got cricket club. And last week, we got, I think, one reason why I got the cup is that we got the runners-up in the Division B UMass Dartmouth Cricket Club. I am also advisor of the cricket club team, and our team has done a great job. And we are moving from Division B to Division A. I just got the cup to see that some of you who love cricket get motivated to join the cricket club next year. So that's the reason, and give the big round of applause to them. And this year, wow, actually, as Professor Sukalyan mentioned, that the forthcoming event is going to be Diwali event, which is going to be on November 19th. We already booked auditorium and everything, all the facilities. Now that we have got so many performers, we don't have to worry about that. We'll check out all the program eventually. And just before I wind up, if you have any major problems, please go and contact the president of ISA. Any minor problems, come to me. Okay. Also, would request, the Vera Gupta madam to give the words of wisdom and as a co-advisor. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Satya. Now I want to welcome Bela Gupta ma'am, who is working in our library technical services team. She leads that team, and she's also co-advisor for all of us. I request her to please come and talk.
Hello everyone, and it's a great pleasure to be with all of you. I would like to welcome our esteemed professors and guests, as well as all of you on this great occasion of Swagatam. And I represent the library here. I'm also the co-advisor for ISA, and my doors are always open if you want any advice on your anything. Of course, sometimes I'm a little busy, so it'll be nice if you could just call me in advance before coming to my office. I am in the library, and I will just speak very briefly about the library, which is a very important part of the campus. It is at the heart of the campus, and it is a very safe place, a beautiful place, a place where you can come and you can talk to your friends, and it's not a place where you have to be quiet, but a safe place where you can, socialize. And we also have a Starbucks in the library where you can come and have coffee, tea, snacks. And so do visit the library. It's a beautiful place, and also a place of study, a place of research. Other than that, many words of wisdom have been given by our esteemed guests, and I appreciate all that was said. And some of it took me back to my days in college when, we were very young, and, we didn't have the kind of resources that you are all very lucky to have. So in many ways you are very lucky, but don't forget that you come from India, and don't forget your parents who have sent you here at great costs to themselves. And always remember your culture, and be very grounded. And there's so much good that you can inculcate from this country, and I would advise you to take the good but not the bad. So it's very important to be very strong, because you are here by yourselves and you are representing your country. So make India proud, make everyone proud. All the best to you, and I will welcome you. Thank you.